1.
Here we go.
This is K-Pop Korner. Hello one and all, it's that time of the week again. It's time for K-Pop Korner, Europe's one and only show dedicated to the world of Korean music. This week we have a very special guest indeed. Most of you will know him from Ms. Mary last year. Yes, it is indeed Henry Bloomfield. He's our special guest of the week. We'll be playing several tracks by the US star that's breaking into the Korean market, as well as his brand new single, an exclusive interview with him, and he will be picking 5 of his favourite Korean songs of the moment. It's a jam-packed show, so without further ado, let's jump straight in to some of his songs. We'll play you 3 tracks from his back catalogue. You'll hear Baby Made a Move, then Her Leaves, and then Royal Flush. Turn up the volume and enjoy these songs.
Hey, I'm Henry Bloomfield, and you're listening to K-Pop Korner with Adam Riley.
And now, let's go.
How about horns, baby? I could tell by the way she frowned her face when I told her not tonight. I've been feeling a little time, think I need some space. I told her I'm hoping that's alright. Is that alright? Baby made a move, I think, 'cause she broke right through the door. Baby made a move and I think that she's coming back for more. So I got a 9mm in my pocket, Should've known 'cause her smile was like a star in lines. I'm saying it had teeth. She cornered me in the pantry, I was just begging for a midnight kiss. I try to show compassion, but the very thought of her sends chills right through my spine. Then I hear a knock-knocking. Baby made a move, I think, 'cause she broke right through the door. I got a picture staring at me in my locket. Baby made a move and I think that she's coming back for more. So I got a 9mm in my pocket. Don't touch it, baby. Oh, I left my heart on her branches. Oh, when I was digging through the trenches, but now I feel her leaves changing whenever the breeze is blowing. Oh, I left my heart on her branches. Oh, when I was digging through the trenches, but now I feel her leaves changing today. This paradise I'll write about the trees. 'Cause if I were to stay, it might get closer to the day when they all just start falling down. I said, oh, I left my heart on her branches. Oh, when I was digging through the trenches, but now I feel her leaves changing. Whenever the breeze is blowing, oh, I left my heart on her branches. Oh, when I was digging through the trenches, but now I feel her leaves changing today. If I were to say that every day that I cried, they dried my tears. Nice to meet you, I'm a joker, baby. I scam all over town. They kicked me out of the royal court, yeah. Now I'm a homeless clown. But don't laugh at me, baby. Hold on tight to your queen, that's right. I'm busting in so you can hear me. Hold on tight to your queen, that's right. Cause soon she's gonna feel that boy will flush. You can shuffle me out, but I'm gonna shuffle you out, yeah. Keep your eyes on my clown car, baby. I'm right behind ya, but I'm not fooling you, baby.
Welcome back. Didn't I say we'd be back before you knew it? Those three songs were by Henry Bloomfield, our special guest of the week. He has some Korean English crossover songs, which you'll hear later in the show. Those back catalogue tracks you heard just there were Baby Made a Move, Her Leaves, and the one that just finished playing was Royal Flush. Tracks that will hopefully be included in his album later this year. You all know Henry because of Ms. Mary. Yes, last year he blasted onto the scene. His face was everywhere, as was the extremely cute video for Ms. Mary, with everybody in their homeroom getting all giddy and excited over their sexy teacher. Have you ever had a crush on a teacher? We're sure you have. What we're going to do right now is play you Ms. Mary, last year's smash hit song. Then we'll have that exclusive interview between myself and Henry Bloomfield, and after that it will be his fantastic new single, Overtime. It has more Korean in it, so don't you worry about that. And if anything, we actually prefer it to Ms. Mary. Just you wait and listen. But, as we say, you've got Ms. Mary coming up right now. Then we have a very, very in-depth interview. Then that amazing new single, Overtime, which you can download on iTunes right now, actually. Settle down and enjoy all this goodness.
That the words you never hear me say eat away at my heart, my dear. I like that fox that finally found its prey. Miss Mary, why'd you have to wear that dress today? Miss Mary, wake it us up. of a class, too ashamed to explain my rude delay. Was staring hard at that bathroom glass. Did you think my hair just naturally falls this way? Miss Mary, why'd you have to wear that dress that way? Miss Mary, wake it us up, wake it us up. Mom and Dad, sample son, yeah. Ain't nothing I can do about that. Mom and Dad, sample son, yeah. Ain't nothing feel wrong about that. Mom and Dad, sample son, yeah. And I'm proud enough to sing about that. Mom and Dad, sample son, yeah. Hey, Miss Mary, why'd you have to wear that dress that way? Miss Mary, why'd you have to, hey, Miss Mary, why'd you have to wear that dress that way? Miss Mary, why'd you have to, I'm in love with my homegrown teacher, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm saying, I'm in love with my homegrown teacher, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm saying, I'm in love with my homegrown teacher. Nothing I can do about that. Hey, Juju Bear. Now I'm in love with my homegrown teacher. Now gonna do something about that. Now I'm in love with my homegrown teacher. Now gonna do something about that.
Can you please introduce yourself for our listeners and tell us a little bit more about your background?
Yeah, sure thing. So I grew up in a small town called Concord in Massachusetts, about 45 minutes away from Boston. And in college, I attended a small liberal arts college called Oberlin College in Ohio. And after I graduated from there, I went on to Berklee College of Music in Boston, which was a really great experience, and that's where this whole Korean connection, that's where I was born. I met many Korean musicians there. There's a huge Korean population of just really happening musicians there, and I was lucky enough to kind of fall in with that crowd. And one of my first friends that I made at Berklee was a Korean drummer named Sungtaek Oh. It was really great experience getting to know him, playing music with him, and then he introduced me to a couple other Korean guys, and all of a sudden I was playing in a band with 3 Koreans and just eating Korean food a lot and just hearing about their lives back home, and just it was a really enjoyable and completely random introduction to a culture that I had previously known nothing about, but I am so thankful that I now have been living there for a year, been feeling just really well supported by a number of Korean friends there. One in particular, Hoon Choi, who also attended Berklee, but it's been really nice playing with him, recording with him. He's a professor actually at a few different universities in Korea, teaching bass, but he's a great session bass player as well. And yeah, it's just been a really fun past year, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to work there and just see what I can do in the K-pop world. But yeah, it's been just a real pleasure being there. Really exciting place, and can't wait to keep doing it.
When did you start performing professionally? And was it always your dream to become a famous singer?
Yeah, so I started performing in college, maybe a little bit in high school, but mostly in college is when it got more serious, and that was with a really great friend of mine named Davis Vigneault. We met in high school, and we started doing a lot of recording in high school, but then kind of when we hit college, that's when we got more serious about performing and playing out, and I would sing vocals and play piano, and Davis would sing vocals and play guitar. And yeah, it was a really great experience just gigging all around Boston, and we recorded very frequently as well. And the thing that was cool about it was that when we'd record, I would play drums and Davis would play bass, so we kind of ended up with two very different versions of each song that we ever wrote, because of course live it was just a much more stripped down version, because we didn't really ever find a drummer or bass player to supplement the sound of just piano, guitar, and vocals, and we kind of wanted it that way. It was just simpler, and we could just focus a little bit more on the songwriting and just keep it contained in that way. And then when we recorded, though, it was kind of interesting to just imagine how we wanted to further develop the tunes and just, you know, create more of the full band sound, even though we were still playing all the instruments. But I mean, sometimes we would have some of our friends come in and sit in on tracks. But yeah, it was really cool because we got to very quickly understand and realize just how different the recording process is to playing live, and it was just a good experience to know that you can have two great versions of any type of song. You can have, you know, hundreds of versions of any one song, but especially just with the dichotomy between recording and performing, it was just cool to kind of explore that difference given the setup of a two-man band.
What instruments do you play, and do you write all of your own songs?
I play piano and sing vocals and play a little bit of drums. That was going on a little bit earlier in my musical life, but still really enjoy doing it. But certainly the focus is singing and piano. I write all my tunes and kind of have always done it that way, you know, lyrics, chord progressions, melodies. More recently have gotten into horn writing, so I really enjoy doing horn arranging as well. So it's the type of thing where I would always be open to co-writing, just haven't done it so much in the past, but have really, so far in my career, just loved just being in charge of all the important things that go into writing a tune. And yeah, I mean, again, not that I would ever be opposed to exploring different setups, but yeah, I've really enjoyed just kind of writing and being all about it, and yeah, it's a real passion of mine.
Tell us about your latest song.
Yeah, Miss Mary. That was, I guess, released back in April, in springtime, but that was a really, really fun tune because it's one of those that when you write a tune, a music video might not be kind of at the forefront of your mind from the beginning, and it's kind of neither here nor there, but, you know, it can be great if it is, or it doesn't matter if it's not. But for this tune, definitely the whole concept and just the story-based theme of it was definitely, in my mind, it just was begging for a music video that was very closely tied to the story of the lyrics. So I mentioned that I've been living in Korea for the past year, so I've been teaching English during the daytimes, you know, pursuing music when I'm out of school, which has been an interesting setup, not always easy with managing time, but it has been a really great experience teaching and just getting to know certain aspects of Korean culture through that teaching. But anyways, I found myself teaching at a really great hagwon, and I just realized that teaching at a cool school with classrooms and students who I really like, and so, you know, just my mind was often on that day to day, and just kind of jokingly started wondering at certain points what these kids are thinking while I'm teaching them, because they're as young as 6, so, you know, really young, really sweet, sometimes very rambunctious, so it was really just fun and kind of surprising and never quite know what's around the bend type of feel in the classroom, but it was great. So I just wondered at times, like, what did they think of me? What did they think of their other classmates? And just one kind of silly thought I had was kind of remembering when I was a child, I really liked certain teachers I had, and when you're young, you can just develop a little crush, a little innocent crush on a teacher. So it just got me thinking, you know, like, I forget when those types of big boy, big girl feelings start swirling around in kids' brains, but just I wondered about that predicament of what if one of these kids had a massive crush on one one of his or her teachers just at our school. And what would that be like? And just kind of was entertained by the potential sweet poignancy of something like that. So then just decided that I wanted to write a tune about that and make a video about that. And it was, I guess, just kind of the type of thing where the ideas of tunes can come from anywhere, or maybe you can't put your finger on it, but I guess I just gotta say with this tune, it was completely based on just where I was at, what I was doing, and I'm glad for that because it was really fun tune to write and really fun video to make, and yeah, I just had an awesome time with it.
It's quite rare for a Westerner to sing in Korean. Can you give us some info on why you decided to do this? And what's the reaction been like from both Koreans and English-speaking fans so far?
I started singing in Korean because, as I've mentioned, I'm living in Korea and I'm really interested in this K-pop wave that is happening and want to get involved in it. And even though my Korean speaking skills are certainly not impressive and I feel very badly about that, and I'm going to try to work on that more as I continue spending time there. But I think it's the type of thing where K-pop tunes so frequently will feature English lyrics in the chorus, in the hook, and I just decided that wouldn't it be cool, wouldn't it be fun to do a little bit of a reverse K-pop thing where I'm singing the verses and pre-choruses in English, but then kind of flip it around and, of course, do it in Korean, and it's fun. The music that I'm writing is the same. I'm not consciously trying to change anything like that, but it's a very new element that I'm exploring in my music, and it's one that I hope to continue doing in creative ways. And yeah, the reaction from fans has been really great and really supportive, both from Korean speaking fans and English speaking ones and even some Spanish ones, because as you know, Adam, and everyone does realize, just this Korean wave that manifests itself through music and through K-dramas and in so many different ways, it's just spreading so rapidly, and everywhere in the world, just people know about Korean. It's a really exciting time to be there, so I just want to try it out. And it's also, trying to respect the culture, and I want to continue to do that in as many ways as I can and continue learning how to speak some Korean. And it's such a great place. The food, the people, the sights, the sounds, everything. Just, it's one way in which I can feel a little bit more closely tied to the place where I'm living right now.
Is the plan to release more dual language songs in the future?
Yeah, I'd say that certainly is the plan, to continue writing tunes that feature Korean in the chorus, maybe even sometimes in the verse or pre-chorus, just whenever it feels right. But I think the thing of it is, I want to do it only when it feels right and only when I feel inspired to do so. And I would say mostly that comes just from the mood of the tune when it's in its very early stages. If it strikes me as something that might just be kind of like fitting into the K-pop vibe or the K-indie vibe or whatever it might be, then it just feels so much more appropriate and it feels right, and it comes a lot more easily. So yeah, I guess just the idea would be to not ever force it, but certainly when that right tune comes along, and I hope this next one, Over Time, which I'm really excited for all of you to hear soon, I think that's a good example of it. And yeah, so I just definitely looking forward to integrating more Korean in these tunes for sure.
Do you still get excited when you meet certain K-idols? And are there any idols that you like to actually sing with?
There's an interesting question. Yeah, I haven't actually met many Korean idols, and certainly look forward to doing so in the future. But in terms of collaborating and, singing with Korean artists, I certainly have huge respect for Primary, and his LP Primary and the Messengers is one that I've really enjoyed a whole lot, listened to it a bunch of times, and I think, I'd not only love to sing on his tracks, but just collaborate with him. He's an awesome producer, and the vibe of his tunes totally gels with my sensibility of a little bit of like jazz, a little bit of hip-hop, a little bit of pop, and even funk and rock. It's kind of feels like a free-for-all in the best possible way. I love how he's mixing a bunch of different genres together, and totally dig the style. That'd be a real dream come true to do something with Primary in the future.
Lots of Korean singers also do acting in TV dramas to maintain popularity. Sam Hamilton has proven that non-Koreans can also have great success on TV there. Do you also want to do that eventually? Are you a good actor?
That's certainly true, yeah. Sam Hamilton, I don't know so much about, but certainly know of his popularity in Korea, and it would be something I'd absolutely be interested in, yeah. I mean, don't have so much acting experience in my life, although I did play a very convincing tombstone in a Halloween play in 5th grade. Didn't have many lines, but had to maintain a certain stoic and morose personality throughout the play. And I think I did that pretty well. I might have. But yeah, I would totally be interested in kind of any and all projects during my time in Korea. As I mentioned before, it's the type of place where a lot is happening, and especially in the entertainment field. And I would be really honored and feel fortunate and excited to just get involved in any type of project that comes my way. Yeah, sure.
Some Korean girl groups and solo singers are now relying on a sexier video style to gain more attention. What are your thoughts on this? And do you prefer this sexy style, or do you prefer a more natural style instead?
Oh boy, this has the tune of a loaded question, perhaps. For something like this, I guess it just depends on the case. It depends on the specific example. But I think, in general, if the vibe of a tune is sexy, and some undeniably are, then to have a music video that follows suit in that same way makes total sense. But objectively, I think it all depends on what you're going for. Every artist is different. Every artist has a different intention. And when you mention a natural style, and the thing that makes music so interesting is something that seems completely outrageous and outlandish and, just hyper in your face might be completely natural for one artist, and obviously for another will feel like completely putting on a different face in front of the camera. And as long as you're being true to what you are trying to express as an artist, who can argue with that? I mean, people might not like it, but you leave that up to them. As long as you are just pursuing your own dream, your own vision, why not? Throughout my music career, and especially nowadays when I read any interviews with some of my favorite musicians, or my close musician friends who I really respect, the word truth always comes up. If they're happy about the album they released, or it could be a music video that they produced, as long as it was truthful. I think just as long as the product is in line with the vision of the artist, that's great. And people might not like it. In certain cultures, it might not jive. But as an artist, as long as you're following that vision and that pursuit, then more power to you. And I think that that's all we can really hope for from an artist.
Since you released your song, are you pleased with its performance so far? And when can fans expect your next single?
Yeah, certainly am. It's been really nice how many people the tune has reached so far. I guess as an artist, you always feel not fully satisfied because you're aware of how many people there are out there who could be listening to your tune, who could check it out, so you always want more and more. But I think it's a good thing that we all feel like that, because it just drives you to want to succeed more and accomplish more and never stop trying. So I guess that's a good thing overall. Yeah, the new single, which I'm really excited for, that's called Overtime. It's one I'm really excited for everyone to check out. It's gonna feature some more Korean lyrics. It's kind of a feel-good, just exciting, kind of like pop, disco type of thing. So yeah, I had a great time writing it, recording it, and I just can't wait for that to come out. And then the full-length album, yeah, good things coming, so please stay tuned.
Are you surprised at how K-pop is becoming more and more popular outside of Korea? And why do you think this is?
The great and just really interesting thing about K-pop is that it's really exposing Korea to people who, for whatever reason, otherwise wouldn't know much about the place. I mean, as I had mentioned, it wasn't specifically K-pop for me, but it was Korean musicians who I became really close friends with, and then all of a sudden I know a whole lot about Korean culture. I mean, certainly not everything, but a whole lot more than I ever did. And it's a great thing, because to have Korean artists become household names in other countries, just like British artists have done so in America and vice versa, that's a great thing. But even more deeply, just when that music can be tied to a culture, and it can get people interested in a lot of different aspects of that culture. So when I mentioned before, the K-dramas are huge, and some people, including, I have to say myself, like I didn't know the LG phone I had many years ago, that's Korean, or the Samsung TV, that's Korean. It's just fun as you get interested in something like, let's say, K-pop. If you dig a little deeper, it can help introduce you to a lot of great aspects of that culture overall. So I'd say for Korea, of course, it's such a great thing, and I'm sure they appreciate their K-pop stars and all that they're doing for their country.
Okay, I've asked which Korean singer you'd like to sing with, but how about a Western singer or group? Who would you like to sing with?
It's always a tough type of question. It goes along with who your favorite artist is, which very tough one to answer. But I think Jamie Cullum has been a really big influence for me, and not even just due to the fact that I really like his music and dig his style, but it's more having seen him perform recently. It was actually in Korea, I got to see him perform, and Japan actually too, so it's kind of funny how I had to go all that way just to see my man Cullum finally on stage. But yeah, it was so much fun, and I'd heard that he was such an amazing performer live, really energetic, but it's the type of thing that you can't quite appreciate unless you see it. I was so struck by the amount of respect that he showed his audience members in just giving the full blast treatment of just 100% energy, just giving so much. And certain artists might be a little bit more introspective on stage, a little bit more introverted, and sometimes you get the feeling they're playing for themselves, or, they're just not making such of an effort to reach out to the audience. Certain artists, that's the natural way. But with Cullum, it was just so clear that he wanted to give people a great night. I mean, he's playing his music, he's so happy to be there, but he's so happy to be there because he wanted to just make these people happy. There was one moment, in fact, when I saw him in Tokyo that I'll never forget. It's something I'd never experienced before, where he was doing his cover of Radiohead's High and Dry. And this was during just a segment of the show when he was just solo at the piano, and he cut off the house speakers, he cut off the monitors, just all amplification, done, dead. And he's just there playing the piano and singing, microphone not working, piano not being amplified in any way. And it was such a powerful moment where you could feel the ear strain, and you could just feel how significantly Jamie had everyone with him, and everyone was just completely focused on him and just enjoying the moment, and it was just really special. And so this is a long-winded way of saying that playing with Jamie Cullum in the future would be just a thrill. I think he's a totally real musician, absolutely authentic, and I love what he does, and yeah, it would be a real pleasure.
What sort of things do you like to do in your spare time?
In my free time, I certainly love spending time with friends and family in Korea. Spend time with family, a little harder since they're not there. But one real passion of mine outside of music is definitely running. And it's something that I've enjoyed doing since high school, and in college I ran some cross country, but it's just a really good way to get some energy flowing and to spur actually the creation of ideas. And it feels great, and it's been really fun, especially doing it in Korea. And I felt whenever I'm in a new place, really great way to get to know a city. And I actually studied abroad at University College London, and I have just the best memories of running around. I lived in Camden Town, so Regent's Park was it's my stomping grounds. Really missed that place, in fact. But I'd say running is really important to me, and it's a cool way of just exploring a place, especially that you don't know so well, and getting to know it. So I love doing it.
If someone decided to make a video game or a movie about you, what style would it be and why?
Video game or movie? This is a good question, Adam. Let's see. A question I've never thought about before, so it's a tough one too, but I think I'd go with movie. And let's say thriller, action-packed, exciting, twists and turns, things are not what they always seem, keeping people on the edge of their seats type of thing. That'd be pretty cool. Why not? And let's say it's gotta have a cliffhanger ending, because, sometimes when that conclusion is all nicely wrapped up and everyone knows everything that they should know, maybe a little boring. So for this one, I would require that the ending leave a little bit up to the imagination so that the story can live on. So, yep, sticking by that answer. There it is.
Thanks for answering all of these questions, and if you've got any final message for your fans, please say it now.
Yeah, Adam, thanks so much for having me. Been a real pleasure talking with you here at K-Pop Korner. Would love to come back anytime. And yeah, just all you listeners out there, thanks a lot for tuning in. And you can check in with me at my Facebook page, facebook.com/Henry Bloomfield Music. You can follow me on Twitter at HBloomfieldKeys. Drop me a line whenever. I would love to be in touch with you. But yeah, just really excited for everyone to hear my upcoming single and the album. And yeah, just been a pleasure talking with you, spend time with you. Thank you.
Left speaker. Check. Right speaker. Check. Mic. Check. Here we go.
She very quietly rolled out of bed, tried to slip away before. My body woke, but as she freed herself, my heart felt the closing door. Yeah. So I cry, baby, don't blow. On your whistle, our loving needs some time to grow. I wet your baby, 가지마. 시간이 많이 없어. 나 데려가 날 버리지 마. 도망치지 마. I'm coming for an overtime. 말해봐 아닌 척만 나랑 같이 있어줘. At the buzzer screaming overtime. I wanna hear that na-na-na-na, yeah. Na-na-na-na, yeah. I wanna hear that na-na-na-na, yeah. I'm coming for an overtime. I really could question my every move. Was it wrong to hold her close? Was it wrong to hold her close? Or is it possible when she holds back, it's a sign she cares the most? So I cry, baby, don't throw in the towel. Our loving needs some time to grow. I wet your baby, 가지마. 지금 시간이 없어. 나 데려가 날 버리지 마. 도망치지 마. I'm coming for an overtime. I'm coming. 말해봐 아닌 척만 나랑 같이 있어줘. At the buzzer screaming overtime. I wanna hear that na-na-na-na, yeah. Na-na-na-na, yeah. I wanna hear that na-na-na-na, yeah. I'm calling for an overtime. Na-na-na-na, yeah. Hey, na-na-na-na, yeah. Na-na-na-na, yeah. Hey, I'm calling for an overtime. Take a leap, don't run away from me. I'm calling for an overtime. Wake up me, don't wake up me, come on and stay with me. At the buzzer screaming, I'm not dreaming. Na-na-na-na, yeah. Hey, na-na-na-na, yeah. Na-na-na-na, yeah. I'm calling for an overtime.
Welcome back, folks. You just heard Overtime, the brand new single from Henry Bloomfield. It's available to download on iTunes right now. So, what are you waiting for? Be sure to head over there and get downloading now. Support Henry so that he can keep on making great music just like that. You also heard Ms. Mary before the interview. And of course, yes, you heard the very long interview. It was great, wasn't it? So much effort went into that interview, and we're very thankful to Henry for taking all that time to give us such thorough answers. You're listening to K-Pop Korner, Europe's one and only show dedicated to the world of Korean music. There's all sorts of great musical talent over in South Korea, and as we've heard on this week's show, there's plenty of talent going over to Korea to break into that market as well. If you want to find out more details about the show, head over to facebook.com or twitter.com/K-Pop Korner UK. And if you don't know it by now, that's Korner with a K, not a C, because this is all about Korea. I hope you'll join me next week at the same time. You know where to come, you know where the details are. All you need to know is who the next special guest is going to be. You'll find that out on Facebook and Twitter. But this week's guest, Henry Bloomfield, is going to take control of the end of the show. He's going to introduce 5 of his favourite Korean songs of the moment. So we'll hand over to him, thank him again for his time, and wish you a very pleasant week. We'll see you again very soon indeed. Goodbye for now.
More music with more music variety. More next.
We've got Mana by Primary, and this is a really great Motown throwback type of feel, just good party atmosphere in there, so yeah, dig this tune.
Okay. Hey. Shit. Z. Ski Oh shit. 저 여자 좀 봐. 자꾸만 눈이 가. 비켜 가리지 마. 아니 쟤 말고 쟤 뒤에 쟤. She's so fine. 빛나 미소가. 야채 빨래 비도봐. 잠깐만 여기서 기다려봐. 한 발자국 두 발자국 바로 뒤까지 다가가도 민망해 말 걸기 민망해서 아무래도 안 되겠어 뭐 남자친구가 있고 없고가 중요한 게 아니야 지금 저기요 Girl You're so fine 내 눈에 딱 들어와 너무 겁먹지는 마 만나 따가워만 만나 Girl You're so fine 내 눈에 딱 들어와 너무 미워내지는 마 가만 봐 따가워만 만나 뭐해 여자들이 심심해 솔직해지자고 우리 쎄쎄쎄하게 얼음땡하게 다 큰 여자들이 뭐야 그게 비슷했단 놈들은 시시해 저 깡통들을 만나서 뭐해 놀아 뭐해 왜 후회할 짓을 하려고 해 한 발자국 두 발자국 바로 뒤까지 다가가도 민망해 말 걸긴 민망해서 아무래도 안 되겠어 뭐 남자친구가 있고 없고가 중요한 게 아니야 지금 저기요 Girl You're so fine 내 눈에 딱 들어와 너무 겁먹지는 마 만나 따가워만 만나 Girl You're so fine 내 눈에 딱 들어와 너무
Love Satellite by Clazziquai Project. This is a really great groovy tune. One of my good friends, Choi Hoon, is on bass holding it down, and yeah, it's gonna make you want to move, bop around, so give it a listen.
넌 다시 떠오르지 Don't realize how 막연한 두려움에 두 눈을 감지 미지의 어둠 속 한 줄기 빛을 향해 믿기지 않는 환경 속에 벅차오르지 shining stars, loving
Everyone knows this next one, the Lost Song by Rain. Yeah, it's got a very infectious beat right off the bat, and can't not want to dance around to it when you hear it, so here it is.
Show me what you got. 1, 2, 3, what? Show me what you got. 난 누울 수 있는 땅은 많지. 남들처럼 없어도 있는 척 자체만 돋보이는 cheesy. wanna talk 나도 완전히 cheesy. Follow me. Maserati, Ferrari, 기는 필요 없어. 난 몸통 나리. 자체가 so rich 하니까 티가 나니까 그렇게 사니까 이런 신발 꽉 매. 넥타이는 좀 털래. 오늘은 다른 말 하기가 싫어. 그냥 있는 싫어. 오늘은 나 좀 할래. 나처럼 쫙 빼고 오늘은 달려. 그래 나 사실 오늘 좀 땡크래. 신발
Question Mark by Primary. Just always really liked the synth parts. Free groove on this one, really funky tune. Just feels great to kick back and listen to, so check it out. What do you think?
Zion T, Double D. Alright. 전화를 할까 말까 문자로 할까 시간이 너무 늦었나 그녀는 벌써 잘까 오늘따라 밤이 너무 길어 문자를 썼다 고쳤다 하다가 지워 아쉬워 방금 보낸 문자가 답장을 기다리는 이 시간이 너무 길어 안절부절 못하는 내 모습이 안타까워서 약속도 없는 밤거리로 나왔어 뻥 터졌어 호르몬 두근거려 사춘기 중학생처럼 oh yeah 내 맘에 빨간불이 켜져서 널 생각하면 이성은 꼼짝 못하고 얼어 제대로 털렸어 나 딱 걸렸어 너 진짜 감당하기 힘든 일을 벌렸어 나 브레이크가 고장난 A톤 못 멈춰 이미 시동 걸렸어
넌 웃을 때 콧구멍이 커져 yeah, 그건 위험해 yeah, 앞에 서면 yeah, 괜히 수줍게 허물정돼 그러고 보면 yeah, 내가 어떻게 너를 왜 항상 목표점 yeah, 넌 대체 뭘 하는 여자기네 또 대체 뭘 먹고 자라기래 물음표 짓게 만들어 네가 못되는 입가에 미소만 짓게 만들어 말도 안 돼 제발 좀 그만해 줄래 너무 귀여워 나 어지러워 그리는 것 이상으로 저걸 어째 뭔데 네 번째 손가락에 긴 반지 뭔데 나 대답 없고 스무고개 하자 수도
Next we've got Stupid in Love by Mad Clown, and the first time I heard it was definitely drawn in by the female hook and really like how the rap verses provide an interesting dichotomy to that, and yeah, just a good one to chill out to late at night, so here it is.
다른 말투 심장이 시큰해 난 네가 낯설었고 비가 내릴 듯 하늘은 시꺼매 반복된 실망과 다툼 속 서론 지쳤고 넌 아마도 오늘 여기서 내게 꼭 이별을 말할 것 같아 순간 가슴에 불 찌른 듯 나도 모르게 소리쳤지 미치고 부딪히고 널 보며 진저리 쳤지 너 왜 그렇게 슬픈 눈을 하고서 날 쳐다보고만 있어 항상 그랬지 난 못 질고 넌 지겹게 착해 빠졌어
네 술에 나를 욕해도 난 아니야 아니야 네 마음이 나를 접어도 난 아니야 아니야 내 눈물의 의미 왜 몰라 끝내 잔 게 아니야 안 나타난 말야
혼자 아닌 둘이라 넌 더 외롭다 했어 슬픈 표정으로 넌 물었지 내 말 이해할 수 있어 난 귀찮고 바쁘단 핑계로 널 짐처럼 취급했지 믿음은 플라스틱처럼 부러져 네 의심 지긋지긋했지 그리고 너희 집 앞 바른다 좀 마지막에 어김없이 폭탄 터졌지 참 더럽게도 칭하게 서로를 미쳤고 욕을 뱉고 우린 미쳤고 Now we can't go back 누군가 그랬지 계절은 이별을 뱉고 오네 계속 그렇게 거짓말해 다시 난 볼 듯 상처를 내봐 어차피 끝내 맘이면 좀 더 제대로 나쁜 척해봐 너 짜증나게 굴지만 누굴 만나든 잘 살 테니까 뒤늦게 다시 나 찾을 때 난 절대로 거기 없으니까 그냥 꺼지라 했지 울먹이는 네 모습 지겨워서 바보같이 아파하는 그 꼴 봐주기 힘겨웠어 미안해 할 것 없어 주저하지 말고 말해 어서